Hey guys, it's CK, and I wanted to do just like a little vlog here. I just watched a movie that is fantastic. I loved it. I loved every part of it. Honestly, it's one of my favorite movies in a really, really, really long time. And hang on, um, text. Um, it's called Harry Brown, and it stars Michael Caine, and I love Michael Caine. He's great in pretty much everything he does. Fucking tremendous actor. He's been in so many movies that even IMDb can't keep up with his list. It's kind of unreal. He's great. Uh, and you know, usually he brings a lot to the table, and this movie doesn't disappoint. And like, I'd heard some things about this movie, and usually I don't like fall into the trap of preconceptions or whatever. But like, you know, I'd heard that it's like, oh, this is the British version of Gran Torino or whatever because it's a vigilante film and all that. And so, you know, I was kind of like, oh, are they trying to cash in on this whole like old man vigilante thing or whatever? And you know, there's been a lot of vigilante films this past year, but there's been a lot of good ones. I mean, Defendor is fantastic. That's another one I highly recommend. Kick-Ass was great. Probably my favorite superhero movie ever. There's been a lot of them. Drawing a blank. Anyway, but back to Harry Brown. Spoiler alert. So if you want to watch the movie, but this isn't a big deal because it kind of happens in like the first 15 minutes, and honestly, it's in the trailer, and it's like pretty much the only way I can tell you the story, like up to the point of what this movie's even about, is to explain like the two major events that happen. Okay, so Harry Brown, played by Michael Caine, he lives in East London in like one of these like estate-like apartments. And this place is a real shithole. I mean, it's like seriously like borderline assault on Precinct 13 gang-related violence. I mean, insane. So Michael Caine, Harry Brown, his wife's in the nursing home, and he goes and checks on her like every day and brings her flowers and talks to her and stuff, and he's got this best friend named Lynn, and they always hang out at this bar called Sid's, and Leonard's been being bothered by these punks like a lot, this gang that's pretty much been taking over this whole like part of London, and so he talks a little bit about that with Harry and some foreshadowing, and then Harry goes that night to the hospital and finds out that his wife has died. And so that's one of the two things that creates the character of Harry Brown that we know throughout the rest of the film. So that's one taken away. The other is that he goes back to the bar after like this really quaint moment at the graveyard, and meets Leonard at Sid's bar, and Lynn basically is like, you know, I've had it with this bullshit, you know, these punks are, you know, they're fucking with me all the time, and they throw dog shit, they push dog shit through my mailbox, and I'm not gonna have it anymore. And so he shows him this big like fucking military bayonet, and Harry's like, whoa, whoa, what are you gonna do with that? And he was like, you know, come on, you were in the Royal Marines, dude, you know what I'm gonna do with this. I mean, I've got to defend myself if these guys attack me. And so anyway, one thing leads to another, and he ends up getting killed. So That's the only two people that Harry Brown had in his life that he gave two shits about. Really, I mean, honestly, the only other person that he could possibly even be involved with would be Sid, the bartender, and I mean, he's more like just an acquaintance where a means to an end. You know what I mean? So you take away a man's two reasons to live. You give him nothing to lose, and that's when you get a vigilante with some real power. And this guy, Harry Brown, obviously back in the day during the war, was a real fucking badass. Because he starts going around and just fucking people up. And I mean, it's not like crazy, like he's like kicking their asses and like, you know, doing all kinds of crazy shit. I mean, it's like he's smart, but like his age, you know, it factors in. It's very realistic, you know, like he may beat up a couple guys, kill like his first kill, he you know instinctively kills a dude that's got a knife on him with his hand-to-hand combat shit. But like he fights off some more dudes, and then like he tries to run away, and his emphysema kicks in. So like it's like, you know, he's still an old man, and you know, he's still a man. It's not like Batman or anything like that. It's not like I thought this movie might be like Alfred Goes Wild or something, you know, because I mean that's kind of what it seems like, you know what I mean, and it definitely could be something like that, but it's not. But let me get into. I don't want to get into, you know, telling more of the story points because I really want you to watch it. I want to get into like the cool shit about the movie, like the stuff that really I think transcends it into another genre. It's one of those films that has a perfect balance of like Foley sound and soundtrack. There are times when there's no soundtrack. And when there's no soundtrack, like he'll be eating breakfast, and you know, every sip of the cup, every set of the cup down, every spread of cream and butter across the bread, you know, it's those sounds, it's those everyday sounds that we hear. You know, turn on the faucet. I love that quietness where whatever's going on that's the intent, is the sound of everyday life, and that's all, you know, packaged in with this very dark, very gritty, very violent, brutal movie. Very brutal. Shockingly, you know, showing gang violence to the extreme. Seriously. And I also like the cinematography because they use a lot of wide angle shots, very, you know, like it's very Sergio Leone in some spots. It's kind of like a Western in a way. It really is. It reminds me a lot of a Western. The way it's shot and the way it's portrayed. It's like a modern Western. Harry Brown's like this, or even like a Zatoichi. You know, he's this old but very trained person who's apprehensive at first of helping, you know, the people, and then he's like, something pushes him to the edge, and he finally goes for it and starts kicking ass. So I highly recommend it. Go out and get it. Like I said, it's dark, it's gritty, it's brutal. It's definitely not for the kids. Michael Caine is brilliant. This has got Oscar written all over it, and if it doesn't, it's a fucking shame. And you're really gonna love it. I really think you are. And if you don't, then I don't know what to tell you, because it's just a great movie. Harry Brown. Go watch it. Now, go. Go. Go.